Nobody thought he was going to be the guy. Not the oldest, not the boldest. Kim Jong Un was this round-faced kid who liked basketball and flew under the radar in some Swiss boarding school using a fake name. Totally. Seriously. Most people don't even know what his voice sounded like at the time. He wasn't built up to be a ruler. He just showed up. And then his dad died. Just like that, the keys to a nuclear country got handed to the quiet one. However, at first, the world laughed. Literally. Memes, late night jokes, the weird haircut. It was like some surreal proof. People treated him like a joke, with Commonwealth power. Hence, the laughing stopped fast. Certainly, because this kid, he came in swinging. He came into high-ranking official jobs, and people who were less equipped started to get kicked out by him. For example, his uncle was executed. Even blood didn't buy refuge. So he wasn't really easing into anything. Nevertheless, he was moving through the ranks with cold, silent precision. That's when it clicked. This wasn't some confused rich kid playing a game. This was something else. And he didn't just, surprisingly, inherit power. A bomb was inherited by him. His dad had started the nuclear program. But Kim took it and ran. Where his father teased the world with nukes, surprisingly, to squeeze out food and aid, Kim was dead serious. He dumped money and powerfully ended up finishing the occupation. And not just build the bomb, building a shipway to launch it. Between 2013 and 2017, they ran 4 nuclear tests. Why is that so important? Because then in 2017, North Korea claimed they detonated a hydrogen bomb. That's not some overblown firecracker. That's next grade destruction. We're talking about a full-blown attack over a city. And it didn't just stop there. On the other hand, missiles started flying. These were not practice ones. They were planted in secret. Big, loud ones, streaking over Japan, landing in the sea, and making every military in the region hit DEFCON mode, a system of alertness. Kim was showing off, although consequently, he wanted people to see that he was a leader. Notably, this wasn't quiet development, like someone walking into the room with a grenade and just pulling the pin halfway. By the end of that year, they said they could hit the US mainland. Whether or not this was true, arguably it didn't even matter. The fear it stirred up was real enough. Washington proceeded from mocking the kid to staying up late in emergency meetings. Because now, the guy with the funny haircut was one bad day away from throwing the entire world into chaos. And while government scrambled, piling on sanctions, running military drills, scrambling diplomats, Kim just watched. Clearly, he was enjoying it. Subsequently, came the fear to the coverage, the attention. He wasn't just trying to survive. He wanted to be in the same room as the big people. And when he got it, notably, he held onto it as if it were oxygen. Then he heads up and meets Trump. He's sitting US president shaking hands with a dictator that half the world considered unstable, and dangerous. Cameras flashed and flags flew side by side. Moment by moment, everyone started to smile. To be honest, because of this, nothing really shifted. Kim walked away with legitimacy. Finally, Trump got his exposure. By the mode. Nukes were still locked and loaded, still improving their image, though. For instance, the media out of the headlines went and talked about Kim's journey. Meanwhile, Kim was busy building, and media stories started framing him as this genius warrior, a peacemaker, to show he wasn't just a leader, he was a legend in the making. Therefore, every military parade, every speech, it was all choreography. At the same time, sanctions hit hard, but North Korea's always been good at surviving in the dark. Kim found new routes: cybercrime, crypto theft, arms deals, buried under a dozen shell companies. China kept some trade alive unofficially for Korea. The regime started to come afloat, barely. In other words, the nukes, they were mercenary level. He was a strategic leader. One minute, he's threatening to turn cities. The next, he's in a sharp suit, smiling next to world leaders. That unpredictability wasn't a blemish, it was a tactic. It kept everyone off balance. It made real planning impossible, because you never knew which version of Kim you were actually dealing with. Then, fast forward came 2020. No public appearances, more or less. Whispers about his death started swirling. Some said botched surgery. Others said it was COVID. People braced for a regime shift. But absolutely then, out of nowhere, he ends up showing up, looking slimmer, slamming through the land. Like nothing ever happened. That whole vanishing act, believe it or not, might have been intentional. In other words, a power play. Or, just Kim being Kim. Kim then starts to focus in preventing global destruction. He wants insurance for himself as well as for the regime. His family's been ruling for 3 generations, and in his mind, nukes are the one basic thing that guarantee that it will continue. Not to use it, but just to have it. Not because he's reckless, but because he's not. He's calculated. He knows how to provoke, how to back off just enough. Additionally, he's not just aiming for war. He's aiming for control. And the truth, he's already changed the game. Kim Jong Un built a weapon in people's mind that already intimidates them before even seeing him. I hope you enjoyed the ride. Please hit the subscribe button to support us, and thanks for watching.